Hello and welcome back to another Discord Doodle challenge. It's week 24. We have this quite square looking shape this week where we've got the 4 elements of the reflection in here. Now immediately I saw an app icon, but let's see what everybody else has seen with this week's doodle. If you're new here, by the way, every week I post a doodle on my Discord. Everybody can download it and then turn it into something that they see, and that's where we look then through all the submissions of what everybody has seen with the doodle. So if you want to participate, there'll be a link to it in the description down below. And first up we have Rainbow, who saw part of a flower pattern in a medieval tile. So it looks as if we move to the right, this is typically what happens here, is that people post 2 versions, one with the doodle highlighted, in this instance it is in red, and then another version as well which just has it without it. So we can see obviously it's been duplicated multiple times, rotated, and then it creates this floral design. Great work, Rainbow. Cockle is up next, and you have seen a windmill, and I believe it's kind of like the tiles that make their way towards the windmill. Wow, it is everywhere in here. We've got it in the actual rotating blade at the top, we've got it in a window, we've got it in a cloud, in a seagull, in a guy parachuting right at the very back, if you can see that, and then also on a radio tower as well. That is crazy amount of integration. Very nicely done, well done. We then move to another version of yours again. Couldn't figure out how to. Okay, gotcha. Big Mac Tank is up next, and you've added it into this 3D sort of chain element here. So you've used it to create one by the looks of it, maybe even duplicated the work multiple times, because I can see this corner here gets a little bit of highlight. Maybe you actually drew it multiple times, but if you didn't, let me know in the comments down below. It'd be nice to see if you had to draw it multiple times, but it's great work and perfect integration of the doodle. I Hate Sushi is up next. This one, I just had to sort of glance through it before sort of recording, and I had to look multiple times at where this is. This is just a mental amount of kind of integration, because you're only using one corner for the actual, is it a pelican? And then it's just drooped all the way through the design, which separates the 2 corners. So you're like, rather than have just a thing in each individual corner, they come from outside of the frame into one corner only, and then each other one is then occupied by the cartoon fish work as well. This is so cool, really nice work. Rui is up next. You played with the symmetry tool and drew some snowflake. Wow, these are awesome. These are really, really cool. I'd love to know sort of roughly where the actual doodle is. I can somewhat sort of gauge it, you know, corner to corner here, but that's very cool work. I like the simpleness of that as well, just the simplicity of just having line work, especially in a snowflake. It's really awesome. And now this is exactly what I saw, which is what Ruffro has seen, which is the Instagram logo, and you can see it's just perfectly integrated in. The second I created the doodle and uploaded it, this is exactly what I saw, and I wanted to see how many people would try and attempt to do the Instagram logo in Procreate. Elhauser is up next. It's been ages, like a month, and since you've been able to participate, but you've got a stained glass window design. I love a stained glass window. So much fun to be had here. And you can see that the doodle, of course, is in the central element here, where we've got this kind of diamond kind of shape in the center. Very nicely done. Nice light work in there as well. Kels, you are up next, and you have this butterfly design. So it's been integrated there, of course, in the corners of each part of the wing. Now, sometimes the doodle can restrict you a little bit, because of course a butterfly, you would probably widen the top corners, but you have stayed perfectly within the rules of the Discord Doodle Challenge, where you don't distort the doodle. You're not allowed to change it in any way. So you've done a perfect job there, Kels, of just abiding by it. And sometimes it's a bit hard to fit the element into the doodle, but you have to make it work sometimes with the doodle provided. Daddy Wolf is up next. You duplicated the doodle a number of times, 16 times, to create the fan here. So it looks like it's been duplicated multiple times in this central area here, and then creates the kind of movement and the rotation of the blades. Very nicely done. Strongbird is up next with Wally. Oh, this is so cool. I love this. I said last week when we had a sketch design, I think it was last week or the week before, a sketch design that won, that they look so good and they just look amazing for the doodle challenge itself. It just has that great sort of doodle, like you've just gone, yep, no worries, Joel, grabbed a piece of paper and cracked on. I'm going to have to do a tutorial, I think, in this kind of sketch design, because this just looks so cool. It's just so organic and traditional. It just looks great. Very nicely done, Strongbird. Up next is Milo. So a golden Apple Watch. This is perfect. My Apple Watch, I've got the SE, and it's starting to look a little bit too small nowadays. I feel like I see all the larger ones and so much more screen to them. This one reminds me of the SE because it's got like that little bit of the bezel around the outside here that mine typically has. So maybe I need to upgrade that. Maybe Mrs. Create will treat me to something for Christmas. Nala is up next with another beautiful, cute design. Oh, this is awesome. So Nala has integrated it here into the two curves here of the dress, the wings as well, the crown, and then the actual sort of headband as well of this character. Absolutely fantastic work. This is like one of those designs that you never would have seen. You never would have seen that as a thing to draw, but Nala did, and absolutely fantastic work. For this week's doodle, had a little extra fun experimented. I started by rotating the doodle and suddenly, boom, there was a figure in its wings. So of course I had to turn it into a flying angel. Then I thought, why stop there? I rotated it, duplicated the doodle a bunch of times, creating the flower as well, and then used that flower pattern as the dress. Absolutely amazing. Very nicely done. Froggy, you are up next again with another Instagram logo, this time with the notification in the corner. Very nicely done. I love the glow of that as well. Very cool. As well as what looks like a GoPro camera, I would say. I'd say it looks quite a lot like a GoPro camera because it's got quite the big lens on it. Very nicely done, Froggy. Tay, you are up next. This is beautiful. Again, quite sketchy, very sort of traditional looking pen and paper style to it. And the doodle looks like it's been integrated here in this square space here. We've got the curves here, so it's been rotated, which is allowed, and then it's been used to integrate into the tree. And because you've gone with quite a curvy, bendy tree as well, the doodle gets lost in it. You highlighting it makes you aware of it, but you've done a really, really fantastic job there of disguising it perfectly within there, picking something curvy. There's so many curves you're not drawn to an area, and again, the first time I looked at it, I couldn't see the doodle, and needing that second version to go, yeah, and you can see the square once you kind of are aware of it, but it very quickly then fades back in to the design as well, which again is just amazing because you just picked the perfect kind of use case for it, where it can just disappear once you've sort of seen it. It can be unseen, which says a lot for your design. Alturas, you are up next. You saw a camera lens focusing on a crow. Very nicely done. And of course, maybe inspired by my crow tutorial that is available on YouTube for Halloween. It's part of my Halloween collection for this month in October. So make sure to check that out using the link in the description down below. We then have Tommy, who has 4 bracelets on this one. This is really cool because when I saw this, there's so much lighting happening. It's kind of neon, very vibrant. And these bands, by the looks of it, are communicating. Maybe some sort of Power Rangers style arrangement where you've got all the bands connected to each other. Very nicely done. And finally we have GC, I believe, and we have a Cooper design, God rest his soul, and going down some massive kind of tunnel, kind of warp tunnel potentially, time tunnel of sorts. Very nicely done, using the doodle to create all those kind of neon kind of beams potentially in the background there. Now at this point we are done with this week's batch, and I typically now pick my favourite 3. Your favourite 3 might differ from mine though, so let me know in the comments down below if they do. In third place I am gonna go with Strongbird and their Wally design. Fantastic work. Again, I said at the time, love the sketch style. Fantastic, very nicely done. In second place I am gonna go with Nala's integration here into the beautiful winged angel design. Very, very beautiful work. And this week's winner, I am gonna go with Tay and their bendy tree. As I said, the fact that you don't see it, you can then see it, and then it still disappears into the rest of the design says everything. So fantastic work on that, Tay. And thank you to everybody for all of your submissions. Week 25 will be available right now over on my Discord. So if you want to come and join in with the weekly challenge, it is available over there. I'll see you in the next one.